Good morning. This is Vicki, and it's Saturday, September 10th, 2022, and I'm just checking in with you. Um, I thought you might want to see what I'm working on today. And sorry if I'm hard to look at this morning. I'm at home and no one is going to see me. I work 40 hours a week, so my priority on my weekends is to spend as much time as I can sewing. So let me show you what I was working on today. So I am working on a table runner for my ex-husband's wife. She's very sweet, and I have a charm pack. I probably should mention the name. I think this is a Moda charm pack, and I've got the paper inside, but I am working on a Quilt As You Go table runner with prairie points. And I selected 32 prints from my charm pack to fold into prairie points. And before I started making the prairie points, I cut them down to 4.5 inches. So I thought you might be interested in this only because, of course, in my charm pack, many of the fabrics were directional. And so I would start by ironing the squares in half and then in half again so that all the raw edges are on one side. And when I put these in my Quilt As You Go table runner, these raw edges will be captured in my seam allowance. But as you can see, this is how this pattern is going the way I've folded it. Here are some of the other patterns. Now, these have little flowers on them, and I didn't want them to be upside down, so I had to pay very close attention to how I folded them. And then I have some of these fabrics that had bigger patterns on them, and depending on the way I folded them, you could see little to no other color in there. So I thought I would show you basically what I figured out and how to get the part I wanted showing with the folded edge on this side so that all of my prairie points would be going in the same direction. So I started with one of these directional flower fabrics, and I realized that in order for me to get the prairie point with the flowers going up and all of my folded sides being on the left, I had to fold my square in half with the flowers going up, with the raw side facing up and the folded edge down. Then once I did that, I realized if I folded over my raw edges this way instead of this way, so I had it folded in half there first, and if I folded them this way, I would get all of my flowers facing up. And some of the parts in the charm pack had stripes. So when I folded my prairie points for these, I could either have the stripes going this way, which is what I wanted, or going this way. I preferred them going this way. So when I made that first fold, I had to make it such that with the raw edge, the stripes were going horizontally and they were perpendicular to the fold line. And then when I folded it over, I got the stripes going that way. So, I didn't even think about it. I knew these were directional and I would want them pretty much going all the same way, because when I make something for somebody, I want it to be really nice. I don't want to cut corners in any way, because to me, a gift for somebody is 110%. I'm not going to give somebody something that I don't want, or something just to use up, or something just for me to make something. I really want to keep the person in mind when I make something, and I want it to be something of quality. So on my larger fabrics, I had to figure out how to get the design I wanted to show up with my folded side to the left and my raw edges here. So I played with that a couple of different ways. And again, I used my first directional fabric as the cue for me to follow on the rest. I knew that what was going to show up here, I had to basically audition my fabric. And when I found the one that I wanted to show up here, I knew I needed to fold it in half this way. And then when I folded it over, the image I want would appear. Now let me show you how different this would have been if I had done it another way. I would have had that as one of my options, which I didn't like. It didn't show as much of the pattern as this did. Or, if I can get it apart here, let me switch hands. I'm right-handed. If I did it the other direction, I would have only that, which doesn't show much, or that, which that was okay too. But that just is an example of how when you are using patterns and making prairie points and anything directional, you'll definitely want to keep in mind how to get the print showing that you want to emphasize your project. So on these, I accidentally did the first one going this way with the fold to the left here, and I looked at the reverse, and I kind of liked this one better going this way. So I looked at how I did this to get that. I opened it up, and I realized I had to fold all of them going this way as opposed to folding them going this way, because this I would have had a totally different look. So I folded them all like this, and you can see there's the rest of them in the different colorways. And so now when I iron this prairie point like this and flip it over, they're all going to be going up with the fold to the left side. So I just thought I might want to do a little what's up and let people see, just for maybe some inspiration. And anytime you use directional fabric, you have the likelihood that you'll need more of it to achieve the same thing, just because if you want to keep things going in the same direction. Now, if you're using it only as large squares in a project or in a quilt, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're using it cut up in blocks or an application like this with prairie points, you'll want to consider that. So I'm going to finish ironing mine, and I just thought you might want to see that. And these right here, let me move this. These are little reusable 100% cotton produce sacks. You know, when we go to the grocery store, we bring our reusable bags for the groceries, but then we're still using plastic for produce, which doesn't make any sense. So I've started making these. I have to run my cording through the casing, their drawstring, and I've written a little pattern for this. I'm going to change it a little bit because I would like these to be a little bit wider and not as long where the netting is. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you today. And yes, I am ironing out in my porch. Um, I've got the ceiling fan on, and that keeps me from heating up the house so much. And when I'm out here, I get to hear the birds singing. Like today, it's absolutely beautiful. We had a little shower today, which cooled things off a little bit. But I typically iron out here and just try to make the most of being able to work on my projects when I'm not at work. So I hope you liked this. And if you have any questions, comment, and I'll try to get back to you. But I just wanted to let you know what I was working on today. I like to share anything I have, and if there's something you'd like to know, just post a comment. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.